Hello, it's Melanie Connell, physical therapist, and today I'm going to show you how to connect your breath to your pelvic floor in a supine position. So this is lying down on your back with your knees bent. You can either use a pillow or not, and one of the reasons that I suggest using a pillow is if you're the kind of person when you lie down, you have too much space under your back, you could fit your hand and slide it under. You have too much of an arch either in your mid-back or your lower back, and so I'll show you why a pillow could be helpful for that. The other thing we're going to do is understand that when we inhale, we want a lateral expansion around the rib cage because we're using the diaphragm better. You don't want to see a whole lot of rising from the upper chest. And so when you use your diaphragm, it then interacts with the pelvic floor, and so the pelvic floor will open on inhale and it can contract on an exhale, and that's what we're going to capitalize on. When you exhale like you're blowing out a birthday candle or blowing through a balloon, the abdomen naturally contracts to be able to alter the pressure in the abdomen and the thoracic cage to expel the air. So we capitalize on that natural occurrence and perform a pelvic floor contraction and can tie into our lower abdominals. So this can create a lot better core stability and core strength just by using the connected breath. So lie down. Now, if you lie down and you can slide your hands under, you have an arch in here, then what I want you to use is a pillow to then bring your rib cage up passively. What I see people doing for a long time, people have said, force your lower back down, bring the navel to the spine, roll your pelvis back. But it creates more tension in the abdomen and makes it harder to breathe. Use a pillow and slide it just under your shoulders and your neck. Some people may need two pillows to really be able to elevate. So what you see is this passively brings the rib cage, the thorax, up and over and aligns it over the pelvis and creates more of a neutral spine where I can't fit my fingers underneath my back. So now what you're going to do is we're going to work on the exhale first. So this means that when you exhale, the diaphragm is coming up, the pelvic floor is coming up with it. So sometimes people think that because you're exhaling, everything has to clench tight. But what I want you to focus on is what naturally happens in your abdomen. Just assess your body. You're going to exhale and assess and see what you feel engaging in your abdomen. So blow like you're blowing through a balloon. And pay attention to what happens. Did you feel anything contract? Did you feel a whole lot of tension up and around your upper rib cage? Or could you feel anything down lower in your lower abdomen that's helping you engage the abdominals? So this time when you exhale, you're going to perform a Kegel with it. This is simply just drawing up a blueberry, holding off your urine flow, gently squeezing along with the exhale. So you can associate whether or not you can contract at all. Can you contract anything in the front of your pelvic floor, the middle of your pelvic floor, or the back of your pelvic floor? What strategies does your body naturally use to engage that? Again, this is an assessment just so that you can try to connect in and feel what's happening in your body. Now you're going to inhale, hands around the rib cage. I want lateral expansion from in here. So inhale. Again, see, can you create this lateral expansion? Do you create too much pressure up and down? Do you create too much chest rising? See if you can get your rib cage to expand laterally. The belly will rise some, but most of it should come in around here. Okay, so this time you're going to exhale first. I want you to exhale and contract the pelvic floor. See if you can engage some of your lower abdominal muscles. And then on the inhale, I want you to relax and let it all go. So an important thing to know, when you exhale, the pelvic floor will draw up and in, and we have muscles, our deep abdominal muscles, part of our deep core, called the transverse abdominis, and they are positioned this way in the abdomen. So when you feel them engage, it should feel like a corset coming in and around. And they are hard to actively try to contract on your own. It is much easier to connect to them when you do the connected breath with the pelvic floor contraction, because the pelvic floor muscles and the transverse abdominal muscles work hand in hand. So you'll feel that as you exhale, you're going to draw the pelvic floor in and see if you can capitalize on that transverse abdominis, that corset contraction around. And then when you inhale, I want everything to be let go. Open up the pelvic floor. It's just as important as the contraction, especially for people who have a high tone pelvic floor and a lot of pain or tension in and around the pelvic floor. You want everything to relax on inhale and contract on exhale.